listening to a One Pint Stand, a Minnesota craft beer podcast that tells the stories of craft beer in Minnesota and beyond. So kick back, relax, and grab a cold one. The show starts now. Hello, my name is Dan Bobian, and I write, produce, and host a One Pint Stand. I'm ecstatic that you're listening. This podcast has been a passion project of mine since 2016. On this episode, I sit down with Bill Eddins, a co-owner of MetroNOME Brewing in St. Paul, Minnesota. MetroNOME is a place with a mission to provide funds for kids in the Twin Cities who do not have access to music education. Bill's passion for this stems from being a world-class musician himself, and he is about to tell you all about it. Now, let's not forget that Bill is also a passionate craft beer drinker, and MetroNOME brews delicious beer. So let's head out to MetroNOME Brewing in St. Paul for my beer chat with Bill Eddins. Cheers. Well, welcome to another on-location episode of a One Pint Stand. My name is Dan Bobian, and we're here at MetroNOME Brewing Company, and I'm being joined by Bill Eddins, the co-founder, and man of many talents, we'll say.
I blush, considering my coloration is pretty good way to start. Okay,
yes, absolutely. So MetroNOME is located downtown, right across the street from CHS Field in St. Paul, the capital city. Bill, thank you so much for having me in.
It's great being here, Dan.
Yeah, and so I've been here multiple times. You've been open for roughly almost
2 years and
2 years and
months.
change. Okay, yeah, because you opened your doors in
February of 22.
Okay,
by accident.
But yeah, it was kind of like the under the radar. You were open. There are many things that make MetroNOME unique, but I think also the mission behind the beer is something that we'll get into later, but is really important. So before we start talking about MetroNOME, before we start talking about music, tell me about your relationship with craft beer. How did it start?
Back in the dark ages when there was no such thing as craft beer in the United States of America. It was 79, 1980, back in those days where I grew up in Buffalo, New York. And so we thought, having a Molson was craft beer back then.
Right, yeah.
It really was. It was, let's get some Canadian beer. Was kind of the big thing, because Western New York, you had Genesee 12 Horse, you had those kinds of beer. I wouldn't exactly call them the stars of beer. Okay? I went off to college and I just happened to stumble across a liquor store that had the Merchant du Vin line of beer, and it was the Belgians and the English.
Okay.
And I took to him like fish to water. I loved it. I went the both styles of ales. I've always been a malt forward guy. So that was kind of my introduction to beer.
Okay.
The German styles, and everyone up there, Mexican style, English, Belgian. And then as, the 80s progressed, you started to get craft breweries popping up. I travel for a living. I'm a musician.
Sure.
So, when you say you can't separate this from my musical life.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Right, at all. But, I would go around to these various places, and you heard about things like tap rooms and craft beer starting to happen. And if I ended up in a city, I'd track one down. Craft beer was very different back then.
Sure.
It was essentially just anybody who wasn't one of the big 3 or 4. Sure. Was craft beer, whether or not it was really good or it had any particular focus or it was craft.
Yeah.
That's very different than what it is now. For example, our brewmaster founded a brewery that was just specifically Belgian beer, as you all know.
Right.
And, that was very successful for him. You wouldn't have done that back in the 80s.
No.
You wouldn't have gotten anywhere.
People wouldn't have understood it.
They have no clue what was going on. I would have been one of the few who would have gone, that's a great idea.
Yeah. And I even think in this day and age, if a brewery that is focused solely on Belgian beers, that's a bit of a stretch still.
Yeah.
Because it's a very complex style. There's definitely, if you like a Belgian beer, you really have to like esters, and you need to love what yeast does and kicks off. And that's not for everybody when they're entering.
Right.
I think there's like a little bit of palate education that needs to happen before you can really appreciate and embrace Belgian style beers.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. I mean, I know of a few dotted around the country.
Yeah.
It would not have been a great proposition in 1986.
Right. Yeah.
No, it would have been a great proposition, not a great business opportunity in 1986.
Right. Yet there were the kind of trailblazers back in the day who, if they, there's a specific place in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and this guy, he basically opened up a bar that was all imports in 1978, and people were like, "You're crazy."
Right.
It's called Roman's Pub. Back in when I started getting into craft beer in the early, 2010s, Draft Magazine would publish 100 of the best beer bars across the country, and that was one of the places on there. And like you, I like to travel in the summertime because I'm a teacher, so I have my summers off. Went to Roman's Pub. It was quite the experience, and got a little bit of history about the place. And he's like, "Yeah, everybody told me not to do it.
Yeah.
They're like, this will not work." And at the height of craft beer bars, it was one of the places to go.
Right. So I remember those ages, those times where we had those types of places, and they had 30, 40, 50 things on tap.
Yep.
And they were these great beers from Europe and UK and that you just couldn't get, off-site. You couldn't get it from a liquor store. And so that was a wonderful education in how, all the different areas of beer.
Yeah.
And it really worked for me. I really went down that particular rabbit
What
hole.
were some of the first places that you went and were like, wow, this is incredible?
I can't remember any of the names of the bars themselves.
Sure.
But I can tell you, I remember those great Abbey beers that some of them were lucky enough to get. There were some great Northern Italian beers that showed up every once in a while that I really, really liked. They were rare, even amongst places like this. And and all the English. I'm okay. Full disclosure. I'm probably the biggest Lord of the Rings nerd you will ever meet. All right. Full disclosure.
I was going to say
pulling out the tattoos.
The tattoo on the forearm.
I do research at the Tolkien archives. Everything, and I grew up in the Episcopalian Church. Spent time in the UK. It's just the secondary school I went to was based on the form system, not grades. No,
sure.
We were all British, that whole that whole system. So there's something about that culture and that background that really dominated a large part of my life, and the beers as well.
Yeah.
The porters, the brown ales, the doubles, the bitters. Being able to drink beer that wasn't at 33 degrees. I was just into it.
Yeah. There's very few places that will have, beer engines. And anytime you walk into one and see some and it's good, it's like, I want to come back here.
It's different.
Day after day after day. It is different. And I love it.
Yes.
I wish it appealed to a wider breadth of drinker. I just think it's like Belgians, kind of one of those things you really need to kind of like get into, and it's just different the first time you have it. But if you keep going back, it's like is really rewarding. Just the flavors and the textures of that style of beer.
Beer in and of itself is a very interesting and complex universe.
Yeah.
I love that it is that. I'm a musician. I inhabit a very, very small sliver of the musical universe. I'm a classical musician. I play piano. I make most of my living as a conductor. I do the classical repertoire. I have certain things that are outside of it. I have certain things, certain organizations who I have collaborated with, who are cousins, like the Jazz at Lincoln Center Orchestra. But I also realize that there is a far-flung universe of music out there, which fortunately a lot of it, which I got exposed to when I was a young child. Ethnomusicology, world music, punk, funk, rock, whatever. I don't expect everyone to come to music and immediately go, Beethoven. Let's just stop there. No. I don't do that.
Yeah.
I'll be listening to Javanese gamelan on any particular day, or something out of Fela Kuti, or something from the Suomi, from the northern Finland, or jazz. That's me just keeping my ears open.
Yeah.
The same thing's got to happen with beer, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
You have all these, for example, sours. I don't get sours a lot. I could do some of the Flemish sours or whatever, but after that, I go, I'm not quite sure I'm getting this style. And there are people I know who just understand it. And God bless them. Yay.
Yeah.
I'm really into that.
Yeah.
So people, if you're listening out there, put down the IPA. Sorry to dump on IPA so early in the podcast, but just put...
It always happens.
It always happens. Just put down the IPA and go and take a chance on the something. You never know.
Go get and I mean, I guess like when I, kind of got into craft beer, I went to my first craft brewery in 2006 when I was visiting my sister in Cleveland. And then from there, it was kind of like, okay, how do I find more of this? Mm-hmm. This is new to me. I knew like craft beer kind of started in the late 70s, but in Minnesota, other than Summit and Shells, it's a fairly young thing.
Yeah.
But I remember going to the Republic over Seven Corners in Minneapolis, and they had an outstanding Belgian beer. And I would get like the Duchess de Bourguignon, this like red brownish sour that tasted very much like somebody, put some balsamic vinegar in a carbonated thing, and it was just like funky and weird. But I'm like, this is good. Yeah. I like this. Yeah. I don't know why. Yeah. If you gave me carbonated balsamic vinegar in another like instance, I don't know if I'd love it, but like it's interesting how that the parallel between music and beer is so apropos, and like sometimes you hear a song, you don't know why you like it. Mm-hmm. Just like, oh, that's really good. What's that called? Who's this artist?
If you keep your ears open. And it's the same thing if you keep your palate open.
Yeah.
What's her face? The gal, she's young, out of California, who recorded her last couple albums in her bedroom with her brother. What is her name? She's huge.
Billie Eilish?
Billie Eilish. I'm a Billie Eilish fan.
Yeah.
I like her music. Hi, I'm a orchestral conductor. A couple weeks, I'm going to be on the stage of Carnegie Hall conducting Dvorak. I like Billie Eilish. I find her very intriguing. I'm not exactly sure why, but she has caught my ear.
Yeah.
I like that about me as a musician.
Yep.
And I like it when the same thing happens to me with anything that I eat or drink. I love food passionately, and I love to discover new tastes.
Yeah.
And when it comes to beer, I've got my favorites, but, I love beer.
Yeah.
I love a lot of beer.
Yeah. So in Minnesota, the craft beer scene is fairly new. Take me back to several years before you opened MetroNOME. What kind of led you down the path of wanting to open up a craft brewery in Minnesota?
What? I did not want to open up a craft brewery in Minnesota. I had absolutely no plans to do this. My buddy and I, Matt, we would sit out on my back patio and brew beer and bullshit at each other and try and figure out how to make our beer better next year. And we swore to each other that we wouldn't get anywhere near a commercial brewery.
Well, I've got news for you.
I know.
We're sitting in your brewery, so what the hell happened?
Well, let me take you back to the wonderful times of March 2020. COVID hit. And as I said, I'm a musician. And the other things that I do, I'm a Thai yoga massage practitioner. I was also a tennis line judge for the USTA. None of that survived March.
Yeah.
I was door dashing. I was flying around the Twin Cities in we had an old beat up 09 Honda Civic manual.
Nice.
Wow. Everyone in my family can drive stick. Thank you very much.
That's also an underappreciated skill.
It's an art form. It's not a skill. It's an art form, dude. Right. Drive stick. And I fly around, I'm from Buffalo. I know how to drive in ice and snow. And I would deliver food. Called myself the Happy Dasher. Because I love food. And you know what? When you deliver food to people, they are genuinely delighted to see you.
Oh, yeah, especially then.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise.
Oh my
that was
God,
like oftentimes the only human interaction I'd have for a day other than my wife. And
exactly.
Love you, honey, but Jesus, give me some variety.
Exactly. So, I'd be out there, the Happy Dasher, flying around. And then George Floyd. And here's the thing, the day after, I found myself patrolling in Prospect Park, where I live, at 3 a.m, because we lived near Franklin, close enough that all the yahoos who had driven up here and taken the license plates off their pickups, who were determined to cause some trouble, the only east-west access they had was on Franklin.
Yeah.
And so they were coming right through my neighborhood because the 94 had been shut down. University had been shut down.
Yeah.
Lake Street, of course, had been shut down. Franklin Avenue was the only open spot. So 3 a.m, I'm out there patrolling to make sure that these sons of bitches don't decide to come through my neighborhood.
Right.
And I'm sitting there thinking, this is my third set of riots. I did Miami 89. I did LA 92. And here I am. I thought I had moved on.
Yeah.
I obviously hadn't. And that kind of stuck in me. And a couple weeks later, I was in the shower. It was a beautiful day, looking out the window. Warm water on you, and the brain starts drifting. And it's a beautiful day. And I'd usually be out there on the patio on a day like this, brewing beer with my buddy. Now, if you remember these times, the one hilarious thing about COVID was as soon as it came down, there were whole strains of homebrew yeast you couldn't buy for love or money. I mean, the homebrew stores were wiped clean.
Couldn't get baker's yeast.
Couldn't get anything.
Everybody and their brother decided to become
we're brewing beer. End of the world, the hell with it, man. We're brewing beer. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
All right, so we were all thinking that we should be brewing beer right now because we don't know what's going on. That's half my brain. The other half of my brain is still stewing on this whole, why did I just live through my third set of riots? Being a musician, I start getting on this rant, and I go, we should be doing things for our society that make our society better. That's what we should invest in. Why is it that every time there's a shortfall, the first thing that goes is music education for kids? Why is that? We know better.
Right.
We know better. It's not a matter of opinion. We know better.
Yes.
Why is it? Why is it? Why is it? That part of my brain is getting madder and madder. The other part of my brain is going beer, 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 and suddenly they just went click. And I remember staring at this one tile in my shower for about 15 minutes. I'm just staring at it going, I think I have an idea. It's insane. So I got out of the shower, and I wrote an email to Matt, and I said, okay, this is my idea. We're going to found a brewery. It's going to be a for-profit brewery, and it's going to have a social mission, and that mission is to ensure that every child here in the Twin Cities Metro who wants to study music has that opportunity, regardless of how much money their family has, their socioeconomic background, but just ensure that music education survives here in the Twin Cities Metro.
Yeah.
But the brewery itself will be a for-profit, and we'll take the profits to essentially fund a nonprofit.
Yeah.
And I sent that email off, and that son of a bitch sat on that email for, I think, 9 or 10 days. I was so mad. I was so mad. I didn't hear nothing from him. No texts, no emails, no nothing. At one point, I was talking to my wife. I was threatening to drive by his house just to see if he had put a for sale sign out there. You know,
yeah.
I'm going to get as far away from this lunatic and his crazy ideas as I can. He probably wishes he did. But, he sat on it. He was thinking it through.
Yeah.
He sent me an email and said, yeah, I think we can do this.
I want to ask a question. Mm-hmm. Why is that? Give a little background on why this mission is necessary. Because I'm a public school educator.
Right.
I mean, every kid has to take math.
Right.
Every kid has to take English. Every kid has to take social studies. Every kid has to take science.
Right.
Certain numbers of classes. And, when you show up in your Algebra 1 class, you bring your notebook, bring your calculator. If you don't have a calculator, they have calculators for you. Yeah. Every kid, like when they do state-mandated testing, they provide a calculator if you don't have a calculator. Why doesn't music education get funding? Or what about this?
You can keep rephrasing it however you want. The answer is I don't know. I don't understand why this element of what we're trying to teach our children does not get funding. Because all those other things that you mentioned, math and English and whatever, yeah, they're all important. But what the arts do is that they teach you how to learn. That's what's different. English doesn't teach you how to learn. English teaches you about English. Math doesn't teach you how to learn either. It teaches you about numbers or sometimes real abstract stuff, and that's great. When you're learning an instrument or learning how to dance or learning how to express yourself in an artistic medium, you are using all the elements that make us Homo sapien sapien, that make us the thinking man. That's what Homo sapien sapien means, thinking man. Okay? To think, to learn, to understand, to express, when at the same time you're struggling with the physicality, the mentality, the emotionality of what you're trying to do. For me, especially, music has all these elements. The hardest thing in the world is to walk out in front of people with an instrument that you can never master. You know it. But you try, and you stand out there and you become naked. You express yourself as a human being through this medium. That's the hardest thing in the world, because you have to learn so much about yourself in order to do it. Mm-hmm. This is the critical element that the arts teach. Yeah. You can't quantify that.
Right.
We're teaching you how to learn, how to be human.
Well, there's something about music that, you know, every culture has music.
Everyone.
Every culture appreciates music.
Everyone.
You know, music can evoke an emotional response. It can put you, you hear a song on the radio, it'll put you back in the Francis M. Grass gym at your first 7th grade dance.
Oh God!
And,
oh no, not that!
You know, like, or it'll, you know, like for better,
no, good memories,
for better, for better or for worse. That's when I learned about what a fake phone number was. Oh God! But it can evoke such a response. Mm-hmm. It can literally change your physical demeanor. Yeah. A good song will make the hair on your neck stand up. It'll just put you in a moment. It's so incredible.
This is what it is.
Yeah.
And what is it that we're missing in today's world? Are we missing this kind of connection? Is it all just people yelling at each other, either through social media or on TV or on the street corners, flipping each other off and I guess cutting her off in the car or whatever? What we do not and blatantly are missing is the understanding of the other person. And when I make music with you, I have to understand you on a certain level. I have to. We have to have this connection to be able to go, do we share even the basic 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, to be able to just share that rhythm, right? You know, in some cultures, this is just so innate. Right. We had the Havana Quartet down here last week, and they're all Cuban, right? And I spent a couple years living in Miami, you know, in the late 80s, you know, with the Cubano invasion and such like that. And I got friends all around the world. I was just down in Brazil in last August, and there are just some cultures. They started playing this one piece they're a string quartet, and this one piece starts off with percussion, and they're just playing on their instruments. And as soon as they started it, all 4 of them just started kind of grooving, just kind of moving a little bit, and it was just innate, you know. And you could tell the connection immediately. There are cultures that try and make that as a integral part of their society are just they function differently.
Yeah.
And this is what we're going for. We've got to be able to find that rhythm in our society between peoples to be able to communicate, because we're not doing it very well by yelling at each other.
No.
So we might as well try this.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's my attitude. We might as well try it. I think it will improve society. If you think yelling at people through social media is the way to go, God bless you.
Yeah.
Tried that. Didn't work. I tried that. It didn't work. It didn't work.
So the idea to start a brewery and use the profits to fund nonprofit.
To fund music education.
Music education.
And look at it as we have a nonprofit arm, the MetroNOME Foundation.
Okay.
And the whole idea behind it is that we would just simply disperse as much of the profits from MetroNOME as we can. We want to be able to. We want this to work kind of in perpetuity, right? As a MetroNOME Brewery being kind of this engine that calls attention to this idea, to music education,
right?
And functions as a funder for the MetroNOME Foundation. And the foundation also goes out and solicits donations from other organizations, other people, whatever, so that we can all fund this idea that music education for kids really should be a no-brainer.
Right.
It really should be.
Well, and it's interesting because, you know, I work for a school district, a public school district in Minnesota, and, you know, anytime there's a concert, they love to put pictures of the band concert, the orchestra concert, the choir concert on their website and everything. But when it comes time to make budget cuts, like you said. Like, we're cutting back, not enough kids are enrolling. That's like, well, so then you kind of like look at the root cause of that. Why is that? Why aren't more people getting into music? And I think it's because if every district had somebody to explain, as you just did so eloquently, why music's important, they not only would there be more than one band director at every high school, there would be like multiple different types of bands and different things.
One would hope. But I want to bring attention to something else, and this is really the reasoning behind MetroNOME. How expensive is it for you to teach English?
Not very.
Dude, I mean, you could pull out Homer's Iliad or whatever.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, and pull that off the internet, and bam, you can teach it. You can't do that with music. You need instruments, you need time, you need teachers of private means who can pay attention to students on a one-on-one basis. Right. You need space. It's amazing how much space you need because we're talking about sound. Sound inhabits space. It's not just something that exists.
Yeah.
All of those things start to add up. And the thing is, when you start talking about funding arts like that, this is the same thing when it comes to dance. It's the same thing when it comes with visual arts. You need supplies, this and that and the other. You just start getting nickeled and dimed back to at the point where it's nothing.
Yeah.
Instead of realizing that every single time that kid picks up a paintbrush, or that kid puts on dance shoes, or that kid picks up the violin, in our case, the way we're looking at it, that's another time that kid isn't picking up the phone and being on Snapgram or InstaChat or whatever it's called and get off my lawn.
Yeah.
I mean, I really want him to get off my lawn.
Bill is angrily shaking his fist at the clouds right now for those of you who are not here.
Pull it up my shorts, I mean, you got to do it,
Hey, thank you so much for listening. Hopefully you're enjoying a One Pint Stand. My aim is to help spread the word about craft beer. Enjoying craft beer is a passion of mine, and I love chatting about it with other people. A One Pint Stand has a goal of helping breweries tell their stories. I love to get out in and beyond Minnesota to visit breweries, beer bars, and meet other interesting beer people. If you are also into those things, you probably want to keep tabs on the show. So go ahead and follow a One Pint Stand on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I also recently started a TikTok account because I was tired of Charles calling me a boomer for not having one. We would appreciate any and all positive reviews on Spotify and Apple Music to help make it easier for other craft beer listeners to find us. If you would like to be a supporter of the podcast with some of that extra change that you happen to find in your couch cushions, I started a Patreon. There are 3 different monthly levels of support and priced at very reasonable levels depending on what you want to do. We have a $1 a month, a $3 a month, and a $5 a month plan. If you pledge at either the $3 or the $5 monthly levels, you get some pretty cool perks. So go to patreon.com and search a One Pint Stand to check it out. I'm also very pleased to say that we already have 5 Patreon supporters, and I'm just really excited about what this means for the show. If you like reading about craft beer, check out the written work at aonepintstand.com. In addition to several of the articles that I've already written there, I'm in the process of migrating a lot of the fan favorite travel articles from Beerploma onto a One Pint Stand. They're articles that, let's just say, really put you next to me on a bar stool in some of my summertime beercations, and they're always really fun to read. So I truly appreciate you listening and taking the time to enjoy our stories. Now, before we head back to the show, I want to talk about this episode's sponsor, First Draft Tap Solutions. Brett Erickson runs the show and uses his experience of 10 years as a head brewer to provide a hands-on approach to line cleaning, draft installation and technical support. If you're looking for a quality experience with someone who will get the job done right, give First Draft Tap Solutions a pour. To get in touch with Brett, email him at firstdrafttapsolutions@gmail.com or give him a call at 612-839-5304. Brett has a manageable number of clients to ensure that he has the time to give you an amazing level of service. So check out First Draft Tap Solutions for all your line cleaning and draft installation needs. Now, back to the show.
How about a beer?
So you've been open a couple years. Since it started. How is that part going?
Ups and downs. As you know, the business has radically changed coming out of COVID. I don't think anyone really foresaw how much of a change it was going to be. We were all, we'll come just screaming out of this little pandemic and we'll forget all
Well, there's so many
it.
people that didn't even believe that it happened. For them, it was just life as usual.
Aberration.
Okay.
Good luck with that,
Right.
So there has been, a general contraction in the business. There's been changes in taste, changes in how people go out and interact and this and that and the other. And here's the thing. We've got a couple things going for us. First of all, I'm very, very proud of the quality of our beer.
Yeah.
Our brewmaster, Kevin Welch, is a genius when it comes to brewing beer. He founded Boom Island back in 2011, I think it was, with his wife, Chu Shaw. He knows how to brew beer.
Yes.
So it was critical that we found a brewmaster who believed in that level of quality. And the best thing is, of course, Kevin is a professional musician.
Yes.
So he understands the mission and why it is we're doing what it is that we're doing.
Yeah.
That's one thing. But the music itself, we didn't... Let me put it this way. We didn't quite know what we had the first couple months, and then we just kind of threw a party on a random Sunday afternoon because Ensemble, the Minnesota Hard Bob Collective, strolled in a couple weeks beforehand and said, hey, can we just play some music at your place? The downstairs wasn't ready. The upstairs said, yeah, play it in the tap room. Sunday afternoon at 4 o'clock. And this place was slammed. It was just a mopsy. And we realized, oh, wait a minute, this was one of those times where we realized that we had so many supporters out there.
Yeah.
We already kind of knew this because we had done some fundraising on the MainVest platform, which was a kind of a small investor platform, and we had raised $125,000.
Oh, wow.
Without really that much of effort.
Sure.
It was great. But we saw that people really loved live music and coming to our place that's so music-centric for live music. A couple months later, the downstairs room, Fingal's Cave, we had finally gotten to the point where we could open it for business. And, capacity is all of 59 people.
Yeah. So it's intimate and cozy.
It's intimate, cozy. Yeah. We started doing some shows, this and that and the other, doing some live music, trying it out, classical, jazz, yada, yada. We started offering as much live music as we possibly could. What we discovered was that there are not a lot of small venues like this in the Twin Cities.
Right.
And certainly none that are associated with, a brewery or something like that. And that are interested in any kind of music that you can put down in there. I mean, I've had, Eastern European throat singing. Yeah, I'm into it. I've had world music, jazz, punk, funk, emo. I've done it all. I'm the one who books down there, and my criteria is you have to be good and interesting enough to catch my ear.
Sure.
And I don't really care what genre that is. I've put music in Fingal's Cave that I wouldn't pay the price of the ticket to go here. I get to hear it for free if I really want to because I own the place. But it's just not my kind of music.
Sure.
I don't care. That's not what's important. What's important is that we provide an atmosphere where people of all types and of all leanings can come and freely enjoy music in order to create this movement that goes, we're doing this because we all believe in music and we all believe in music education and that this will be a good thing for our society.
Yeah.
And that's just not classical. That's not just jazz or world or what. It's music.
And it's inclusive.
Yes.
And that is, I think, one of the things that, especially for my own self, I'm not going to speak for the rest of society, but especially after COVID and George Floyd, like that was like such a gut punch to just the well-being of so many people. And the desire when we're holed up in our, bubbles, when bad things happen, like we want to go to our communities for support, for the reassurance that everything is going to be okay. And music very much does that.
Yes, it very much does. And things have not been okay.
Well, right.
Right,
no,
right.
Things
Have not been okay.
Right.
So we're trying to create that place where, yes, it can be okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And that whole movement to be able to give kids the opportunity to go, I know whichever parent it is yelled at you or whatever, you're not getting along with your siblings, you don't have enough to go on that trip to the science museum or whatever.
Right.
I'm sorry, kid. Let's make music and let's see if we can find something for you to believe in.
Yeah. And
enjoy and be able to make your own.
Well,
in this town, isn't that what happened to some kid named Prince or something?
Yeah, I believe so.
This is what we want to foster.
Yeah.
Really, we want that opportunity to be out there, and I'm just sick to death of it. I can't stand the idea that there's a kid out there who wants to learn music and can't. It just drives me insane.
There's so many obstacles and gate doors that are shut.
Yep.
If you can't afford lessons, if you can't do that stuff, and
transportation,
it's like,
whatever.
Right.
Just being exposed to it, knowing that there is something out there.
Yeah. Well, I think for so many kids, and you hear musicians that make it to a certain level will say that's like, music saved me. And I'm going to be the first one to say that I don't love how public education is so almost like one track, forcing people in one direction. I think there needs to be if you decide early on that you have an affinity for something, you should be able to take as many of those classes as you want. Oftentimes what I hear kids say is they have to choose at a fairly early age, what they're going to do. Well, because I need this credit and this credit, this credit, I can only take one music.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yes, it is.
That's freaking ridiculous.
It is the exact opposite of what a liberal arts degree and track gives you. And this is why people who don't understand what the liberal arts are don't understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not about putting you on a career track.
Yeah.
It's about trying to find out what is best for you.
Right.
So that you can blossom and thrive. And we think that that's what's best for society.
Yeah.
Not, we need another worker in aisle 7B who can do this particular kind of math. So that we can make 0.67 cents on that dollar.
Yeah.
That's exploitation. That's not helping people to grow as human beings.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to get down off of my high horse for a minute.
It's fine.
I'm going to need a ladder, maybe even a forklift. I'm so far up there today.
No, this is good. So I want to know about the confluence of, the music mission and the beer, because of course I have discovered so much joy out of learning about craft beer, meeting people through beer. Some of my most meaningful connections in life have been people I've met over this humble beverage. What have you, as you've opened this up and you've kind of seen it become a very unique thing? I think when the state of Minnesota is approaching 240 some craft breweries, I think the days of just opening up a brewery and having, okay, we've got 12 beers on tap, come in, come find us. Those days are over. I think
we might have gotten open, but we certainly would have been closed by now without the fact that we have, this is a mission.
Yeah.
This is a mission that we have, and the support of people who believe in that mission is what has kept our doors open.
Yeah. What has it meant? What do you hear from people who come in about this space? What do they like? Obviously, other than like the live music, which is just a great thing because not everybody does that. But like, what else have people really kind of resonated with?
Well, they love the rooms themselves, the physical space, both upstairs and down. And I really wish I could take credit for it. But here's the thing: we took over another brewery,
right?
And because we were a bunch of cheap ass sons of bitches, we didn't do a lot of.
You still have the birch trees. I'm like waiting for that. Just get some old fucking cellos and put them there.
We thought of that. No, we did think of that.
Okay.
We had these designs for replacing that with some musical motifs and this and that and the other. But at some point you look around. Look, first of all, every instrument that I've ever touched in my life is made out of wood. I'm a pianist, and I play harpsichord and organ. I played synthesizers and whatever. But the naturalness of what is in this space is part of the charm, and it's also part of what reminds me, especially, of music. Music is about space. When you're into space, and I'm a faux architect, a fake architect or whatever, but I'm in the process of designing a building up in Edmonton with a group of people that's going to be opening in a couple of years because it involves artistic space, music space that I've lived in for my entire life.
Yeah.
That is a deeply intriguing thing. We've got a lot of wood here. We've got some brick. We've got things that are just very, very natural based. And this used to be Birch's Lower Town. And I hate to take advantage of them in that regard. And they were great. When we first reached out to them, when I found this place and said, what were your challenges or whatever, they just gave us a whole trove of information about what they had done here, how they created the space. And things. So, they were just wonderful.
Okay.
But, I really didn't feel a lot of need to change anything up. We did some painting.
Okay. Yeah.
And we had to replace
You have this cool mosaic, which is really cool.
Yeah, built right into the wall, right?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
it's not built into the wall. See, we fooled you too. So
oh my God,
if you look
it was...
No. See, underneath that is a big Birch's Lower Town
that's hilarious.
seal that was tiled right into the wall. And my partner got the bright idea to call up the gal who had commissioned to do that and say, can you make a MetroNOME logo seal that's just a little bit bigger than that one, and we can put it on top.
Oh, wild. Okay. I thought that was all built in. Okay.
I know. It's actually sitting about an inch and a half off of the original wall.
Oh, funny.
And it's just a little bit bigger. So unless you're right next to it, you can never tell.
Yeah.
So it looks like it was just...
Yeah, I've always, I've taken pictures of it, but I've never, gone up there and given it the old white glove treatment.
Right.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so that was kind of the one big thing that we did.
Okay.
We also made the stage area down in Fingles.
Yeah, yeah. Which is, that space is really cool.
Fingles is the reason why we're still open.
Yeah.
Fingles is where we have all the ticketed shows, a lot of free shows. Yeah, let me put it this way: how much music has been a part of what we've already done here at MetroNOME. Since we did our very first show in April of 22, we have done over 500 music-related events here at MetroNOME.
That's outstanding.
It's crazy. We can be Monday through Sunday every night of the week in Fingles, and then we have our Sunday jazz upstairs here in the tap room, and there can be events up here. I've had weeks where there have literally been 11 music events.
That's so cool.
In MetroNOME during the course of a week. That's rare. Usually it's 5 or 6, but we have music all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. In the summer, it's more difficult. When the Saints are here, because we're right across the street,
right,
we try not to have music downstairs on the nights that the Saints are in town, because it's just hard for people to get here.
Oh, yeah. Parking is a nightmare.
Yeah.
As I've gotten older in my 40s, all of a sudden, nobody ever prepped me for this. They prep me for the fact that the first words out of my mouth every morning when I stand there, oh, God. And my knees are making popcorn. My back hurts.
Wait till you're 59 like me, dude.
Suddenly, I'll just grab a bag of groceries out of the car. I'm like, oh, God, what the hell was that? I didn't even think I had muscles back there. I knew about all that.
Oh, okay.
What I did not know is, if I can't find parking...
No.
Well, nope, staying home.
Right.
I don't care.
Right.
Okay, sure.
That's... Right. I know. I get it. I get it. So on those nights where, it's a Friday night, it's a 7:07 start with the Saints, no, I'm not putting anybody down in Fingles at 7:30 that night. We learned that kind of early. We just can't compete with that.
Yeah.
Right? But you get towards the end of September and you run through the beginning of May, and we can have music, every night of the week here. And it's great because it's such an eclectic mix of music. People, a lot of my friends in the classical world, just some of them are nonprofits, and what they do, they get money to host concerts somewhere.
Okay.
And so they just will host a concert here for free.
Okay.
Oh yeah, sure. Come use my space.
That's
it
awesome.
brings people in. They buy our beer, and those people get to enjoy live music, and these people, the musicians, get to use this space and be a part of this movement that we're trying to put together. Or we have ticketed shows. But my point being that of those 500 performances, a full 300 of them have been free and open to the public.
That is also tremendous, because
that doesn't happen anywhere.
Good music you got to pay for that.
Yeah, it doesn't happen anywhere.
There's a reason Bruce Springsteen can charge whatever the fuck he wants to come to Excel.
Bruce, he's a lightweight. Let's talk about Taylor for a minute.
Yeah,
here.
Oh God, yeah.
Honey Bunch, let's go there. I mean, it is insane.
Yeah,
it is insane.
So to offer quality music for free, that's also something that I think not a lot of people talk about. But I was came across my social media feed. It was an article about back in the early 90s when what's the grunge band? Not Nirvana, not Stone Temple Pilots. They had that thing with Ticketmaster.
Oh yeah. Who was it? Was it Toe Jam? Pearl Jam?
Pearl Jam, yes.
Toe Jam is a friend of mine.
Yeah, Toe Jam. They're going to be in the Fingles Cave in December. Come down.
I just booked them.
Wear comfy shoes. They will be removed. There was an article that came across my social media feed about Pearl Jam got so fed up with the fees and everything that they refused to play any venue that was associated with Ticketmaster. So their tour wound up getting canceled, and they had to like piecemeal themselves and schedule themselves venues that would agree to the $18 per ticket price, because that at that time was not something that would prevent most people from going to see a show.
Right.
Yeah, the concept or idea of offering quality music for free, it just doesn't happen. Like, so that is a huge thing to make another way. I would imagine this was probably not an accident, but to make music accessible for all.
Exactly.
And thank you for doing that.
Well, we think it's part of our mission. We really do, because, I mean, the main mission is we're trying to grow to the size of a small regional brewery.
Yeah.
So that we can get to that 4,000 or 5,000 barrel size. And that's not very big. Let's all be honest. That's not a huge brewery here.
No.
4,000, 5,000 barrels a year. That's, it's a fair sized economic juggernaut, but that's not a huge brewery by any stretch.
Yeah. Like, I think that would you'd be probably the size. I don't even know if dual citizen. They just opened up in the last year and I don't know.
We'd be smaller than
level.
Black Stack.
Yep.
Sociable Cider is in that range. Yeah. That's not huge.
Right.
But the way we're set up, and for what it is that we are doing, we know we can take a good chunk of our profits, and on a good year, we could probably put $750,000, maybe $1 million into just ensuring that previously existing music organizations that focus on music education for children would have the resources to reach those children that are most in need of help when it comes to funding music education. We have no interest in starting our own organizations that do that. We think we're a funder.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, and I'm sure that there's it's not just as simple as all right, fill out this sign up sheet if you want to do music. I mean, there's you need people to okay, this person's in my band. They're really good, but they don't they're not signing up for lessons. They're not doing summer band. We got to put somebody in touch. There's a lot of logistical things that go into that. And those cost money.
All that costs money, whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
We live in this capitalist society, and I'm not trying to decry that particular fact. It's just that they cost money.
Yeah.
That's not what bothers me. What bothers me is that we're not willing to consider that a good investment in our future.
Yeah.
That bothers the hell out of me.
Right.
Let's do it with beer.
Yeah.
I mean, why not?
So I want to know more about what was it, month and a half, 2 months ago on social media, you kind of made the announcement that you have this plan, you want to expand.
Yeah.
To generate, and obviously, so before we started recording, we went downstairs. There's 90
barrels.
90 barrels.
Fermenters. We've 2 20-barrel brights. The hot and cold are both 30 barrels. And the serving tanks, we've got 8 serving vessels in the walk-in that are essentially 10-barrel servers, and lines 9 and 10 we run off of kegs.
Yeah.
So that's our system but the critical thing, and I know exactly where you're going with this. The critical thing is behind me, the beast itself, the brew house. That's a 10-barrel system.
Right. Yeah.
Now, if you start doing the math, see, this is the one thing that I'm questioning about my brothers over at Birch's, because they're on a brew pub license.
Yep.
And they put a 10-barrel system in here. And I don't know how much beer they were planning on selling through here, but they could sell cocktails and all this. I mean, I understand their rationale behind opening this place.
Yeah.
I really do, and its location or whatever. I question the size of the system they put in here. Because it seems to me 2 or 3 times the size of a system you would really need for the amount of beer that you would expect to sell out of here when you also have food and other alcohol.
But yeah, because when you're a brew pub, you also have to sell. Like your sales numbers need to match up fairly equally with food and beer.
Well,
there's like some sort of ratio there.
I don't think that's the issue. Where I'm going with is cocktails, other people's alcohol. You start filling this place up and slinging martinis or whatever, you're making money.
Yeah.
I mean, you're making money. You're making more money than you are selling beer.
Right.
And I understand that they want to showcase and this and that and the other. I think they put the system in because there are a couple quirks of this system that really lend themselves towards sours and doing kettle sours and things like that. I think they had just, they were going, we're going to put in this glorious system and kind of do a little overkill. And I could totally get this. It didn't pan out for them because of COVID. Right. Which is not something that I think they really could have looked into the future and predicted. Not a lot of people did. Right. Where it helps us out is that we're on the taproom license. We're on the distribution license. Yeah. We've got this system that is essentially oversized for the facility. Right. Except we could be running this facility gangbusters, and we would still probably have another 1,000 barrels of capacity per year out of the system behind me if we manage it correctly. Yep. Which means that we can get into distribution. So that has always been for us the business plan. The idea is not so much to bring people here to the facility. Right. It's that we live in the Twin Cities. The Twin Cities Metro, this is a music area of this here United States of America. Yes. There's a ton of music history here. People love music. They support music. We've got 2 major orchestras. We've, First Avenue, this Ordway, yada, 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 jazz clubs, this and that and the other. We need to get our beer out.
Getting cans in those coolers.
To those people out there who are all around the metro, who support music. Yep. We need to get our beer into their hands. Yes. That's the whole idea. So distribution has always been the end goal of our organization and how we plan on growing. Yeah.
Did you look at any other locations other than here?
We looked at one other. Okay. Which was not far from here. Gambit is actually in there right now.
Sure. Yeah.
Really great guys, and it's people are going,
that's what about quirky space too.
I know, but people also say, what about the competition? Like, look, we want more breweries around, so there's a cluster, right?
That's the thing that is so like people don't just go to one brewery.
You can't survive as a lone brewery.
When I go out, I like pick an area. I'm like, all right, let's start here. Then let's go here. Then let's go here. People love to brewery hop.
Yeah, they really do.
So in like so many other industries where, it would be counterintuitive to set up shop a 5-minute walk from.
Yeah, if you're slinging burgers, do you set up next to McDonald's?
Right. Yeah, that doesn't work. Right. In craft beer,
it can work.
There's a lot of synergy there.
Yeah, there really
is.
Do
you partner?
But back to their space. We looked at that space, and there was no place to have live music other than just right in the middle of the tap room. Right. For that space. And we wanted, and we said, no, we can't do it. And it was just a couple days later, I stumbled across a space. Okay. And it was Fingal's Cave, that room downstairs, and this oversized brew house behind me that made me go, okay, I think this is the space that we can make it go.
Yeah, yeah. Do you work a lot? Do you do a lot of cross promotion with like Barrel Theory and Gambit?
We don't.
Okay.
We don't do enough.
Yeah.
Part of that has been we've just been busy trying to get our business off the ground. Mm-hmm. I have a night job.
There's that too. Yeah. I mean, and we were trying to schedule this podcast for weeks, and just like you do a lot of travel. So You're not just here, like, sometimes, like, there's certain breweries you go and you always see the owners, just like there.
This is Matt's full time.
Yeah.
So you have an opportunity to see him more often.
Yeah.
But, you're trying to get an organization like this off the ground, into distribution, this and that and the other. We're busy.
Yeah.
We're busy. And we're endeavoring to get more of our act together.
Yeah.
And really professionalize the organization. At the end of the day, we want this to be a profitable business.
Yes.
Because that's critical to how we are foreseeing our business model.
Yeah.
We really want this to be a highly profitable and well-run organization. And we've gotten this off the ground, 2 guys with very little business experience, a lot of grit, and a lot of support from people who just want to be a part of the mission.
Yeah.
Even though we were essentially undercapitalized and, just doing it a little bit on a wing and a prayer. Well, we're still open 2.5 years later.
Yeah. Well, and then I feel like if you opened, the closer proximity you get to COVID, like those 2 years in normal years, that's like 10 years.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Like,
oh, yeah.
There's that.
Oh, yeah, it is, dude.
So
time dilation.
Distribution. Okay, so you want to get on tap lines. You want to get in the liquor stores. Where can people find you? How is that going?
That's an excellent question, and I'm the wrong person to
I know.
ask. Isn't that interestingly enough?
Elle's in Boston. I need to follow up with her.
Matt's somewhere else because he deals with the backside of distribution.
Sure.
What I do is I do the social calendar. So I'm booking everything down in Fingles or anything that ends up here in the tap room. And I look after finances, projections, try and do some PR, marketing, such like that. I call myself the chief design officer, which is essentially, head bullshitter.
Yeah.
I mean,
every place needs one. It's the most important job, depending on who you talk to.
It really is. My dad was a philosopher, and my mom was a sociologist, and I'm a conductor. So I can bullshit with the best of them.
Yeah.
Right? So that's what I do. I try. The more we're doing this, the more I try not to be involved in the really granular details of.
Sure.
Which place exactly are we in? I just want to know kind of raw numbers. Are we growing? Are more places picking up our beer? I mean, I hear about all our new clients and this and that and the other. I don't know which ones exactly we're in yet or whether they have it on top of it. So I know it's happening.
Yeah.
But that's not what I try to focus on when it comes to this organization. And I think that's important as well because if you try and be everything to every part of the organization, you're not giving your best to any part of the organization.
Right.
I know I don't have enough time to know the list of all the places that we have our beer in.
Right.
And be worried about whether they reordered this week.
Yeah.
I don't have time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think it's interesting. So the number you said, the goal is, 4,000, 5,000 barrels a year to get to. What are the like benchmark steps? How is that? Is that just solely going to be through an expanded distro footprint, or is it going to require? Will people have, like, let's say somebody who loves music has very deep pockets and wants to support. How do they do that? Is there a way where they can kind of like, hey, I believe in what you're doing. I want to help you get to your goal of that, and whatever that means. How does somebody support?
Well, there's an instant way right now through the foundation where people can donate money, and we will make sure that goes towards music education. I mean, we've already worked with so many organizations here in the Twin Cities Metro. It'd be very easy to go, folks. We've we've got a big donation. Who needs something? It would be more along, bar the doors, because they would be banging on, we could use it, you know.
Yeah.
So that's one way. The second way is just to be a supporter of us in general, pass the word out.
Yeah.
But at some point, and this is what I think you're getting at some point, we have to grow into the size of that organization. I mean, we were talking about our friends at Blackstack and our friends at Sociable Cider Works. You know, those are much larger organizations than we are and a footprint. Let me rephrase that. In order to get to that size, there are just certain physical aspects of the business that have to be addressed.
Right.
Things such as dry and cold storage, size of fermenters.
Right. The ceilings only go up so high.
No. You need actual canning equipment. A single nozzle canner ain't going to work if you're running 5,000 barrels a year out the door in distribution.
Yeah.
Ain't gonna do it. Yeah. I don't care how hard you push the machine, it ain't going to happen. So we know in order to grow, we're going to have to expand in those ways as well. As you mentioned, DCBC just opened up their new production facility. I haven't seen it yet.
It's beautiful.
Is it? And I live really close to those guys. I should really go over and just yell at them and say, "Can I?
Oh yeah,
can
You're
I
like
look
in
at your
practically the same neighborhood?"
Yeah. I'm right over in Prospect Park. So, matter of fact, that's a really good idea, and I'm going to do that on my way home.
Go check it out. I think the biggest thing, it's a lot of space, and there's that. Just they've been able to ramp up, and but the price tag on something like that is
it's money.
Yeah,
it's investment money.
Yep.
So at some point, there is going to be an equity sale in MetroNOME.
Okay.
I'm not in this to get rich. That's not my goal here. And I'm working my butt off, and I would like to get paid, and I'd like for an investment to pay, but that's not my goal here.
Right.
And if I end up with 5 or 10% of this company in a couple of years, that's fine.
Yeah.
I know this was my idea, but I don't really care. That's totally fine. I just want this company to be growing and to be profitable so that we can fulfill our mission.
Right.
But at some point, we're going to have to put together that consortium of people who understand that particular thesis of how we want this company to be. If you're looking for someone to come in and be an Elon Musk, no.
I don't think anybody's looking for that. The fact that it exists is problematic already.
No. Good point. Good point. But this is a community. This is a community organization. We've always thought of it that way. It's a little vague on how this is going to end up 2 or 3 years from now, but there will have to be people involved who look at it from a more nonprofit point of view than for-profit point of view. There is the business element, without a doubt, but this is a community organization, and it must be run in a way that is profitable for the community.
Yeah. And that's a very important distinction.
It's an extremely important distinction.
Yep.
Yes, we are in business, but we are actually in business for a reason.
Yeah.
And if the reason is not served,
I think that is probably easier said than done.
Yes.
And that's because I think it's like, yes, there's been a lot of places that have started with mission focused, but then, like you say, you need to look at the dollars and cents of it. and growing. And how do you stay true to that? I think that's like what separates the like.
That's the thing. How do you stay true to that mission? Yeah. That is going to be our 64K question. It probably will be a lot bigger than 64K.
up that number.
6.4
I mean, I took Matt Sampler at St. Thomas, but I do understand it. The price of those canning lines. Ooh, 64.
Well, you can only
That's going to not get the job done.
Right. Yeah. You can only hope.
Are you looking at the possibility of contract brewing?
I think we're looking at the possibility of just about everything.
Yeah.
We want to be honest with ourselves, and that we just want the business to grow. The only real couple issues I have with contract brewing is that, like my brewmaster, I'm very protective of my own brand.
Yeah,
I really am.
Yeah,
I really am, and I hate it when people try and they don't portray me, and they have their own agenda, and I don't like that. So when it comes to things like quality, I'm very, very protective.
Yeah,
I don't like it when something goes wrong or whatever, and I just want to make sure that our quality remains the same. Mm-hmm. The other thing is, as you well know, now you're paying someone else your profit.
Right, yeah.
Instead of somehow investing in the equity of your own business.
Right. Yeah.
But we do not know what the future was. 4 years ago, I was stepping out of the shower
after staring at that one tile for 15 minutes.
That's right.
And having that great idea.
We thought we were going.
And then 10 days later, when your partner opened that email or got back to you, like, right. Here we are.
Yeah, I mean, our original business plan was we were going to go straight into distribution.
Yeah.
And 4 or 5 years down the road, find a nice place to have a tap room.
Yeah.
It went the other way because I walked into this place.
Well, I'm happy that it played out that way because this is a nice place. There is a great character to it. The beers are delicious, and to be able to showcase and celebrate music the way that you all do here is something that's truly special. And I hope people really understand that this is a community gem. This is a gift to the community, and so I just want to thank you for that. I want to thank you for your time today.
It's my pleasure, dude.
This has been really fun.
Yeah, we had put down some serious bullshit today, didn't we?
That's right. That's right. So
professionals here.
If you are listening and have not been down to MetroNOME, it's down here in Lower Town, right across from CHS Field. Do you ever sit here and just you share a wall with a Brazilian steakhouse?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and so I don't know.
They're good guys over there. We've collaborated with them a couple times.
My stomach's growling. I'm like, they have those the meat on the storage.
All you can meet.
Yes. Yeah. This has been the starting off point several times to a dinner over there.
Oh, dude. You survived.
Yes, I did. I had the meat sweats, but I'm no worse for the wear. But this is a nice area. You've got the Brazilian steakhouse. There's a coffee shop. Mm-hmm. There's the farmer's market. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of energy. I would love to see Lower Town kind of come back. Mm-hmm. And be the place it was pre-pandemic, because this is a cool part of St. Paul. Growing up in West St. Paul, the joke was like, you couldn't come to St. Paul after 8 p.m. because there was nothing happening. Mm-hmm. And that's really changed down here. So, if you're looking for craft beer, come to MetroNOME. If you're looking for a concert, come to MetroNOME. They will dazzle your taste buds and your eardrums.
There you go.
Bill, thank you.
Wait, I'm going to write that down.
Yeah, that'll go on the t-shirt. Let's chisel that in let's put that on the birch trees.
Right, okay.
Yeah, we're gonna keep that in the hopper. So, Bill, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Dan.
And this has been another episode of A One Pint Stand. Cheers. What can I say about Bill Eddins? He's a talker, an entertainer, and a man with a huge heart and capacity to make the world better. I really hope you enjoyed our chat. Music education is such an important thing, and I'm happy to support a brewery that's willing to raise money for such a noble and important cause. Bill's character is so genuine, and we share a similar passion for the classic craft beer style, so we are very much kindred spirits. Earlier in the episode, I mentioned that a One Pint Stand has started a Patreon. Well, one of the perks, if you support at the keg stander level, is a personal thank you. And so now I want to give a huge, heartfelt thank you from the bottom of my glass to our 3 awesome keg stander supporters, Daniel Fisher, Brent Newman, and Sarah Cry Valento. I am absolutely flattered that you chose to support the show in the way that you have. You are all incredibly generous, and I hope you know how much this means to me. I cannot thank you enough. Your support to the show means everything to me. So, cheers to the 3 of you, and who knows, maybe next episode we'll have a few more keg stander level supporters. I want to give a huge thanks again to the sponsor for this episode, First Draft Tap Solutions. Whether you need someone reliable to clean your lines, or you need to install a new draft system, or maybe you just need some technical support, Brett Erickson at First Draft Tap Solutions is your guy. You can email him at firstdrafttapsolutions@gmail.com, or pick up the phone and give him a call at 612-839-5304 if you need some quality assistance. With that, this has been another episode of A One Pint Stand, a Minnesota craft beer podcast where the pants stay on, but the caps come off. Cheers.
And then some people always ask, is like, can they use profanity? Yes, you can. This is not.
That's good to know.
Not governed by any thing that just goes out on Spotify. So.
Oh, good, because I'm not
feel
from
free.
here.
Feel free to.
I have a more East Coast.
yeah, that's fine.
if you know what I'm saying.
I hear you.
Okay.
Yep.